News update for Saturday, October the 27th, 2018. Saturday the weekend, night edition news. New developments on this Patsy guy. I believe there's a lot of things about this story that do smell, beyond looking at data, it looks like it was truly a false flag. A false flag, a fag or a flag, but really a flag. And it definitely doesn't look like the flag on the golf course either. This guy probably used carriers, or there were more people delivering these packages, because a lot of them didn't even go through the mail postal service system. Because if a bomb were to go through there, if it was a real bomb like that magnitude, it would have been stopped before it went anywhere. It would have been pulled out and would have been disarmed and would have been stopped and would have been sent to the FBI. Because the way they scan mail and all up and down, if they did go through the postal office, that's why I believe that they were delivered by private carriers or by other people who are working with this guy, maybe in tandem. But it's funny how they use, in Loudoun County, Florida, is where they picked this dude up and where they arrested this dude and took him to the FBI just a few nights ago, But he had this white van, and the stickers weren't like individual stickers. They were like the kind of signs that you put on restaurants. You have to have a special printer, but they kind of stick to the glass. But you can put any kind of picture on this type of special kind of plastic. But it looks 3D and looks like a bunch of stickers, but they were all just on one, like these huge sheets of this type of plastic like you put up in a window in a restaurant. And it looked all, it wasn't real stickers like individual. They were just a bunch of stuff that was just printed out on a bunch of plastic that was put in all these windows. And all the windows were covered. Because if anybody was riding around with that white van, I do believe they would have been stopped and probably would have been ran off the road, and they probably would have been shot or probably would have been hit, gotten in a big fight, or, probably something would have happened. But this guy wasn't driving around very long when they stopped him. That's why none of that happened to him. So I believe that this guy was probably an inside job guy. It was a PSYOP guy. And this guy did have a, rap sheet for doing similar things in the past, so they probably just recruited him to do this, to take the fall for it, because he has a record for doing things like this in New York and other places in the past. So, I think he probably used private carriers to mail these bombs out. Besides, let's talk about the bomb. They called him a bomber. The news people call him. It's nuts. These fake news people call him bomber. He wasn't even a bomber. He was a poser. Because they weren't even real bombs. Even the FBI said they were fake. So did the New York mayor said it too. And you could look at them. They didn't have no wires. A lot of them didn't even have wires in them or any detonation mechanisms in it. They had a cheap, dollar timer display on it. It would look cheap. It looked almost like it wasn't even real. It looked like it was just a picture of a display of a countdown thing. But it didn't have no detonation, or it didn't have no timer, no powder, or no powder to explode, or any kind of thing like that. And even if it was black gunpowder, it would only blow up one room. It wouldn't blow up the whole building. It's just like the bomb that was similar, but it was a bigger device that was sent to CNN studios. I thought what they did with that was very crazy, how they said what happened in New York at the CNN studios. That was ridiculous, because that wasn't even a real bomb either. It was just a toy. It was fake, and yet they took it out of there, and they had all those people be outside the studio, and it really it was like a nuclear device or something, and there was nothing nuclear about it or anything. It was just where someone just sent something out just to stir up the media, just to get everybody all in a frenzy, and in a titsy, just to get everybody all wound up, just to create, just to try to see if they get a sympathy vote, to try to lose votes from the Republicans and try to blame it on Trump, or try to blame it on other people in the Trump caucus or in the cabinet of the Republicans, just to try to see if they could win some sympathy votes. And I think that's really what all this ruse is really all about. And there'll probably be more of these things. We know that there were more packages that went out in the last couple days. I think yesterday and Friday, some other people got packages too, like this, the same kind that we've seen that all these other Democrats that have a history of criminal activity, or they were involved in some kind of shady stuff they did in the past. So, it's kind of funny how Joe Sarnos, who's behind all this stuff, stirring up all these things across the world and in the United States, he's a philanthropist raising money, making money off the backs of you and I, and then goes around and is funding all these colleges, which was admitted, and funding all these anti-First Amendment Ativa groups and things. They admit that too, and private donors all trace back to Joe Sarnos. So, it's kind of weird how, he got one of those fake toy like bombs that wasn't even a real bomb. So I just don't know why they called it a bomb, because it wasn't really a bomb. And the powder in it, we don't know if it was powder at all. It could have been just flour, because flour can look like powder, and so can granulated sugar. But as far as, it having ricin or anthrax or anything like that, it didn't test for any of that. So, we don't know what kind of powder it was, but I don't know why somebody would come out and lie from the FBI and say, they do lie about things sometimes. And I don't know why they said that these things could have the potential to detonate, because they weren't that type of device. The guy wasn't a bomber, but I would say, yes, he was a poser, and yes, he did cause fear in some people when they received these packages. Yes, that would cause some fear, great fear. And because somebody shouldn't be sending packages like this to people, even if you don't like them, it's still, they have a right to play the role in the election process too. But there's no reason why anyone should do that. And yet, they'll probably look at his computer and look at everything, and it will have Alex Jones on there, because he's an imposter, and it'll have a lot of, conservative stuff on there. So they'll probably try to cause trouble with those conservative groups that they might have pulled out that might be on his computer and on his hard drive when they look at his computer and other stuff that he has. That guy they took into custody, that is a one-man stallion, which I don't believe it was just one man. I believe it was a group of people that did this assault. Because how could he magically delicious get it all out to all these different places in about 2 or 3 days? He either had to use a group of people to do it that were doing it privately, individually, and they were delivering it to a lot of homes, because a lot of them didn't have any postal stamps on. They didn't have no postal. They had stamps on there, but they had no postal markings, like they went through a meter. They didn't have the line on the package on the envelope, how it has that when it's delivered to your house. It didn't have any of that stuff on there like it would have if it had gone through a post office. So I believe these things were hand delivered by a number of individuals, or they were delivered by private carriers that he might have paid to deliver them to these people. And I don't think they went through the postal service, even though they had stamps on it, because they would have been stopped. They would have been flagged. One guy said, who's a Green Beret, a Marine, said that, these packages look worse than the kind that they trained with. These didn't even look nowhere near, because the stuff they use is a lot more convincing of looking like what a bomb would look like. But this stuff looked like a toy. It looked fake, and there's nothing really true about it being a bomb. He wasn't a bomber, but they keep saying he was a bomber. He wasn't a bomber. He was just an imposter trying to stir up fear and trying to stir up drama. And this might be what the October surprise was referring to. The other big surprise, also what they may be referring to, also may be about the, basically, it may also refer to about the caravans, the one caravan of 6,000 people to 30,000 people, and another larger caravan behind that is trying to come here. But they got something to tell you. They got a number of troops there on the border just waiting for you to come in there. And they're going to stop you at all costs from coming into our country. So good luck with that. I don't know what's going to come of this, but I hope that these people will turn around and disembar, because we don't need these people in our country coming in here. And, because we don't know if they got diseases or what, if they got criminals in there, because they're not being checked. So, it's just a lot of stuff going on, folks. But, just pray for our country, and pray for Trump, and pray for our leaders at this time, and pray for all the churches too. And, and pray for us too here at the Silva's Media Services, and pray for New Hunter Church of Christ too. Please donate. Please subscribe down below, and please donate. Please, my number, if you want to make a donation, is 252-623-1573. Please give me a call. I'm Michael De Silvas, and I'll tell you where you can send the money when you call me. Don't call this number unless you plan to give a donation or you plan to send a love offering to New Hunter Church of Christ. Okay? Take care. Remember, giving is above what you tithe at your local churches. It's in addition to. If you're called and God has given you a challenge to give, please do so. We greatly would appreciate it because your help is much needed at this time so we can keep doing what we do. Take care, everyone. God bless you. Be strong and be American. Don't ever forget where you came from. And don't ever turn on your country. We need to put our differences aside and all come together. Stop all this craziness and stupidity. All right, take care, everyone. God bless. Subscribe. Tell your friends about us and share this video far and wide.